Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di and today I'm sharing with you my July manga haul. So in July, I went to my Monochrome Manga Club meeting at the local Barnes & Noble, and as always, I go with my list of things that I want to purchase. And it just so happened that they only had one of the items in store that I had on my list, and so made a little bit of a error in judgment and picked up a couple other things because I didn't want to go home empty-handed. And so I did purchase a few things that I didn't intend to purchase in July. I also ordered in what I did intend to purchase, so I've got those too. So the stack is a little bit bigger this month, but that's okay. So there's quite a bit to get through, so let's get into it. I got a lot of like continuing series volumes when I went on my little impromptu shopping spree. So I picked up volumes 3 and 4 of Tamon's B-Side. This one's by Yuki Shiwasu, published by Viz, rated teen. So this one is about a girl who likes this idol group and she has a bias, right? And she needs money because idol merch is expensive, and so she picks up a job cleaning homes and ends up getting assigned to her bias's home, and then gets to know him and realizes that he's a bit different than how he is on stage. And so the story kind of follows them getting to know each other, and he has some issues that she kind of helps him work through. And I really enjoyed volume 1. I read that one for my manga advent calendar project. I did not read volume 2 yet, but it is on my list of things I really wanted to get to for a while, and so I went ahead and picked up volumes 3 and 4. And so yes, those are my first two. And then I picked up volumes 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 of I Think I Turned My Childhood Friend Into a Girl by Asusa Banjo. This one's published by 7 Seas, rated teen. So I read volume 1 of this series for the LGBT plus manga readathon in June. That one was hosted by my friend Bizarre Individual, and I really enjoyed it. I definitely held off on reading it because I had heard some things and it kind of made me put off reading it, but I actually really enjoyed the first volume. This one is about 2 childhood friends, and this guy here has a hobby of doing makeup. He's really into makeup, and he has older sisters, and he's been like practicing his skills on his older sisters, but you know, it gets kind of boring working on the same people all the time, and so he asks his childhood friend to be his model so that he can practice his skills, and ends up really liking what he sees when he's done, and the childhood friend ends up really liking the attention that they get from their friend. And so this is kind of a story of them kind of figuring things out, how they feel, and for this character, changing their appearance a little bit because they like the attention that they get. And so I thought it was cute. I'm looking forward to reading the rest of what I have right now. And so yeah, I have volume 2 of Anti-Romance. This one has story and art by Shoko Hidaka, published by 7 Seas, rated older teen. To be honest, I am not sure what this one is about, and the back of here is one of those continuing summaries. But I know this is a BL, and I had volume 1 already. I just didn't want to read volume 1 without having volume 2 because I'm pretty sure this is a 2-volume series. And so I went ahead and picked this one up. I've heard some things about this one too that's kind of making me hesitate picking it up, but I'll hold on to it for the LGBT plus manga readathon next year. And so yes, so that is Anti-Romance volume 2. That's a thick one. We have volume 30 of Set Off of the End Vampire Reign, story by Takaya Kagami, art by Yamato Yamamoto, and storyboards by Daisuke Furuya. This one is published by Viz, rated older teen. So this is set in a world where vampires rule, and we've got a group of kids who want to try to escape from the area they're in because there is an area close by where vampires don't rule. and one of them ends up making it out, the other one ends up not making it out, and so this story is kind of a story of them kind of growing up in the environments that they're in. And that's pretty much all I know. I've only read one volume of this series. My daughter really enjoys this one, though. I'm pretty sure she's up to date. Yeah, it's definitely one that I intend on reading more of, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. And so, yeah, start off of the end of volume 30. I have volume 5 of Our Not So Lonely Planet Travel Guide by Mone Sarai. This one is published by Tokyo Pop Rated Teen. So this follows the adventure of our couple here on the cover. It's a BL romance, and they are going around the world before they get married. I've been really enjoying the series. I read volumes 3 and 4 during the LGBT plus manga readathon. I thought volume 5 was going to be out at the end of June, but I wasn't able to find it. And so we picked it up. Well, I shouldn't say we picked it up. This was one of the ones I had to order in. And it looks like in this volume they're going to Peru, Mexico, and the Yucatan, and Panama. So I really enjoy watching their travels. They meet a lot of interesting people. They have lots of delicious food, and there's definitely some heart-wrenching moments in this series as well. And so I'm really enjoying the series. And so, yeah, definitely had to pick that next volume up. Picked up volume 2 of What He Who Doesn't Believe in Fate Says. This is by Omura Rice, published by 7 Seas Rated Teen. And so this follows a guy who can see the red string of fate, and he realizes that his string does not lead to the person that he's interested in. And so I believe that he is going to try to change fate. And so I really enjoyed volume 1. I'm looking forward to reading volume 2. This one definitely has color in it. Wherever the red string is shown, you see that in red. And so I thought that was really interesting. And so, yeah, really looking forward to this one. Definitely am enjoying Red String of Fate stories. And so had to pick that one up. I thought I had it, but we didn't. So I went ahead and picked that one up. Got volume 2 of 365 Days to the Wedding, story and art by Tamiki Wakaki. This one is published by 7 Seas Rated Teen. So last month or the month before, we had finished watching the live action adaptation Map to the Wedding, which is on Amazon Prime, and I read volume 1. And they were very similar, and so I wanted to continue reading the series because I enjoyed watching the live action adaptation, and I also heard that the live action adaptation was a bit different from the manga. And so I had been able to pick up volume 3 before, but I wasn't able to pick up volume 2. I ordered it in and I finally got it, so now I can continue reading this series. So this is about our two people here on the cover. They work for a travel agency, and the travel agency decides that they are going to open up a branch of the agency in... Now this is where I'm going to get confused, because the manga is in one place and the live action drama says it's in another place. I'm pretty sure in the manga it's Siberia, that they're going to open a branch of their office in Siberia, and they're going to send somebody over there to head up that branch. And they specifically mention that they are going to be looking at their single employees that are single, because it's easier to move them than to move somebody who's in a serious relationship or who is married. So these two don't want to move, but they are single, and so to reduce their chances of being the ones assigned to that office, they decided to become engaged. And so the story kind of follows them kind of coming up with that scheme and, taking the steps to make their engagement believable. I really enjoyed the live action adaptation. I enjoyed the first volume of this series. Like I said, it is very close to the first 2 episodes, I think, of the adaptation, with just some slight differences. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what other differences there might be as I read through the series. And so now I can do that because I have volume 2. I was just telling you I am enjoying Red String of Fate stories, and so I had to pick up this one. This is volume 1 of Tied to You by what? Original story by Chelias. This one is published by Issei Press, rated teen. So this is a manhwa about a Red String of Fate. We've got a guy who one day sees the red string of fate on his finger and realizes that it leads to the brother of his crush and not his crush. And in this world, if you do not sleep next to the person that you are tied to, you have insomnia really bad. And so it kind of follows our three characters figuring out what this red string of fate thing means for them. And so I'm looking forward to getting into it. I really, really wanted to read it a couple days ago because I had just read another Red String of Fate story. It's called The Red Thread. I had hauled it a while back, I think. And I was like, oh, let me read this one. And I was like, oh no, it's in my manga haul. So I decided to hold off. But I definitely want to check this one out. And so yeah, really looking forward to this one. I have volume 3 of Imitation by Kyungran Park. This one is published by Yan Press, rated teen. So this is a story about a idol in training, and they're getting, well, I guess you wouldn't call it idol in training because they're actually like out doing stuff, but they're kind of like at the bottom, right? They're trying to get their name out there, and this girl here kind of styles herself in the same way as another like well-known idol. And because that idol is so hard to get a hold of for like TV show appearances and things, they constantly like go to her to like be like a fill-in because she looks like this idol and styles herself that way, and it's giving her a bad rap. And so we have a situation where her group and this guy's group are on like an entertainment show together, and an accident happens, and he already has like bad thoughts about this girl, and it just like sets them off on the wrong foot. But as the story progresses and they get to know each other better, he ends up falling for her. And so this one also has a live action drama adaptation on Amazon Prime. I did watch it. I enjoyed it a lot. And so it made me want to continue reading with this series. And so, yeah, there were definitely some differences again in the drama adaptation from what I had read already in the series. And so I'm looking forward to continuing with this one. We've got volume 20 of Servant by Strike Tanaka. This one is published by 7Seas, rated teen. So this one is a story about a guy who likes things to be simple. And he ends up finding a cat, takes the cat home. The cat ends up not being a cat, but a vampire, and then his life becomes complicated. I have been meaning to read more in this series. I did enjoy volume 1. We watched the anime adaptation. I really enjoyed it. My daughter is up to date with this series. She really enjoys this one. So yes, continuing to collect this one pretty much for my daughter, but I do intend on reading more of this because I did enjoy the anime adaptation and volume 1 as well. And so I had to pick that one up. This one was for my daughter. This is volume 12 of Persona 5. Original concept by Atlas, art and story by Hisato Murasaki. This one is published by Viz. Rated older teen, so this is another one of those manga adaptations from the Persona franchise, which my daughter really, really enjoys. She just finished a playthrough of Persona 5 Strikers, and she just really enjoys this franchise. She's played, I think, all of the games, except for the first one. I think so. But she really enjoys this franchise. I have watched the anime adaptation of Persona 4. We read Persona 4 from the Monochrome Manga Club. I've started reading Persona 3, and I'm really enjoying it as well. So Persona 4 was more like murder mystery. Persona 3 seems to be mystery, and this one seems to be more about like corruption, and usually starts off with our main character coming to a new town, and then like a group he forms like a group and they end up fighting together, and I think this one is about them fighting the corruption. And so I definitely intend on reading this one also, but I don't want to be reading multiple Persona series at the same time, so I'm going to continue with Persona 3 before I do Persona 5. But I really enjoyed Persona 4, and so yes, had to pick this one up for the daughter. We got Volume 4 of Mr. Villain's Day Off by Yu Morikawa. This one is published by Square Enix, manga rated teen. We read Volume 1 for the Monochrome Manga Club. This one is about our character here, who is someone who wants to destroy the Earth, but he seems to find a lot of things on Earth that he really enjoys. One of those things being pandas, and so you can kind of see a panda right there. And it's kind of hilarious. It's cute. The things that he seems to like are also cute, and his interactions with people are also cute. So I've been really enjoying the series. We started watching the anime, but I didn't want to get spoiled on the manga, so we stopped. But really, really light, kind of comedic story about this guy and his love of pandas, and I really enjoyed it. I picked up Volume 4 of My Androgynous Boyfriend by Tomiko. This one is published by 7 Seas, rated teen. So I haven't actually started reading this series yet because there seems to be a long gap between volumes. And I just don't want to get to the point where I read it and then I'm waiting and then I forget and have to reread it before I read the next volume. And so I'm just waiting on this one. But the art on this is gorgeous. This is about a relationship between a girl and her boyfriend who has androgynous looks and is very pretty. I picked up volumes 4 and 5 of Ice Guy and the Cool Girl. This one is by Miyuki Tonogawa, published by Square Enix manga, rated teen. So this is a romance story that follows 2 office workers. The first volume starts off where they are starting at the same company. And this guy is the descendant of an ice god, I think. Snow spirit. They say snow spirit on the back. And so he has the ability to make it snow and things like that. And he tends to set off snowstorms in the office when he gets nervous, or he turns himself into a cube of ice because of anxiety. And so little like comedic moments like that, and she ends up being his cubicle neighbor, and so they end up getting to like know each other and end up like having feelings for each other. I've read the first couple volumes, I think, for my manga and advent calendar project, and I really enjoyed it. Again, this is another one of those animes that we started, but I stopped because I didn't want to get spoiled. And I really, really enjoyed the series, and so I had to pick up the next couple volumes. Plus, these volumes go by really fast because they're super thin. And so, yes, looking forward to continuing with that one. Picked up Battle Royale Enforcers Volume 1, story by Koshin Takami, and art by Yukai Asada. This one is published by Viz, rated mature. I'm not quite sure what this one is about, but I think it is a spin-off of Battle Royale. Yeah, so this takes place after the Battle Royale has been banned. Looks like it was banned 20 years ago, but now the program is back, and so we're having the same kind of thing where the class has been chosen and divided into squads, given weapons, and commanded to fight to the death. Now friendships and loyalties will be tested, and only the strongest will survive. So I actually haven't read Battle Royale, but I have watched the live action adaptation, and I thought it was really interesting. I do want to read the novel. I have it. I just haven't read it yet. But I thought we should start picking this one up. Considering how popular Battle Royale is, the manga, and how hard it is to get a hold of, I didn't want to sleep on this one, and so we went ahead and picked this one up. I think it's going to be something that my daughter really enjoys reading as well. And so, yeah. We have Volume 4 of Twisted Wonderland, the manga book of Heart's Labial. This one is original concept by Yana Toboso, storyboards by Wakana Hazuki, and art by Sumire Kono. This one is published by Viz, rated teen. So I think this is the last, final volume of this like arc, I would say. It follows a guy who ends up getting transported into this school that has like houses, and the heads of the houses are kind of fashioned after Disney villains. And so we read volume 1 for the Monochrome Manga Club. I enjoyed it. There's a mobile game that I haven't played, but I really, really want to. It looks interesting to me. Several of our Manga Club members do play it. And so, I really enjoy volume 1. I'm looking forward to continuing with this one and seeing what happens. So, had to pick that one up. We are double dipping on this series. I picked up the Omnibus of Haikyuu, volumes 1, 2, and 3 by Haruichi Furudate, published by Viz, rated teen. So this is the story about our boys volleyball team. These two characters here end up going to Karasuno High, and Karasuno is one of those schools that used to be well known for their volleyball club. And then they just started not being as great. And so they're known now as the Clipped Crows. And so they kind of want to build up their reputation again. And this year, with the addition of their freshmen, they think is the best chance that they've got. So they pursue a chance to gain their glory back. And this series is just so good. Really, really enjoy it. I have read the entirety of this series now, and it's just one of those series that I just keep coming back to. We watch the anime adaptations over and over and over again, and I just really, really enjoy our characters. Not only our characters from Karasuno, but characters from other teams that we meet throughout this series, and I just really, really loved this series. I love this series, and so we double dipped. And so I had to pick up the Omnibus. I actually really enjoy reading Viz Omnibus. We have several series in Omnibus. Full Metal, we have Bleach, Inuyasha, and I do enjoy reading the Omnibus. So decided to go ahead and double dip on this one. We're still going to keep our singles, but just wanted to have another set because in case my daughter and I wanted to read it at the same time, then at least we'd have a set for each of us to read, and we wouldn't have to read it one after the other. So we have volume 25 of Yowamushi Pedal. This is another series that we really enjoy watching over and over and over again. This one is by Wataru Watanabe, published by Yam Press, rated teen. So this one follows a high school bicycle club. And so we follow Onoda, who comes into the school as a freshman, and he has an uncanny ability to be doing some things that are really difficult for bicyclists, at least sports bicyclists, and he ends up joining the bicycle club, and they end up competing throughout the school years and things like that. Really, really enjoyed that. I am not one that's really into sports, but we've got a volleyball team here. We've got a cycling team here. I did play volleyball when I was in high school or intermediate through high school and enjoyed that. So I do have a little bit of a connection with Haikyuu, but cycling was never something that I was interested in. We never ever watched it during the Olympics either. But this series had made us interested in watching cycling, and so we have been watching cycling since we were introduced to this series, and I really, really enjoy this series too. It's very heartwarming, it's very exciting, and again, love to see those stories about kids who work their way to the top. And so yes, really enjoyed this one, had to continue. This is still in the animes that I have watched already, so really, really looking forward to reading more of that. I read the first Omnibus. The art style is very different from how it is in the anime. So it definitely kind of gives a different feel for me, but it's still an enjoyable experience as far as the reading goes. And then the last thing I have here is Omnibus 11 of Fire Force. This one is by Atsushi Okubo, published by Kodansha, rated older teen. So this is a story about Shinra, who lives in this world where spontaneous human combustion exists, and Shinra has experience with something happening to one of his family members that's associated with that, and so he grows up wanting to be part of the special firehouses that deal with these spontaneous human combustions. And so he grows up and ends up joining one of those firehouses, and then we follow him and his firehouse going out fighting these fires and also trying to unravel the mystery as to why this is happening. It's an anime series that I really enjoyed watching. I'm looking forward to reading the series, and so yeah, continuing to collect this one in the omnibus. And that is everything that I picked up in the month of July. And so yeah, I have been reading a bit of manga lately, just getting back into it, but I will say that my reading has slowed down a bit over the last month or so, just with life and, work and things, and I was on vacation, and when I'm on vacation, I realized that reading is not something that I do a lot when I'm on vacation. Even though it's something that I really enjoy doing, I kind of feel like my, schedule, my work schedule, my schedule during the work week kind of is how I fit my reading in, and because when I'm on vacation, I tend to let go of schedule to help me relax and things. I haven't been reading as much while I've been on vacation. But I have been reading, and I'm really looking forward to continuing with all of the series that I picked up in the month of July. And so yeah, I have noticed there's been a bit more difficult for me to find volumes that I want to purchase out in the wild, and I've been having to order in more volumes than normal. Also, I've noticed that sometimes, even though things say that they're in stock at certain places, I get notices that they're not in stock and can't be shipped to me. So it's been a bit of a struggle for me. So I think that too is part of the reason why I've been more spontaneously buying out in the wild. But it's also kind of made it a little bit more difficult with tracking things that I'm not able to get and things like that. I don't have a master spreadsheet of everything that I didn't purchase that was on my intention to purchase. I have monthly lists, and so I need to find a better way to kind of keep track of what I was able to get for a month and make sure that I carry over things to the next month and things like that. So yeah, it's just been a bit weird. Not as easy for me to get things that I want. So yeah, have you been having that issue? Let me know if you have. I'd be interested to know. Also, let me know what you picked up in the month of July, and if you picked up any of what I picked up, what you thought of them. But please, no spoilers. And if nothing else, and you'd just like to let me know that you were here, if you could leave me some kind of sports emoji for the sports manga that I talked about later in this episode, I would really appreciate it. It would really help me out. And that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.